Welcome to Preparing for the Unexpected. Today, I'm really excited about my guest, Rina Singh. Welcome back. Rina is the head of Resilience, and as many of you probably know, the host of the podcast Resilience Pod. Rina, welcome back.
Welcome. Thanks, Alex. I'm so glad for this warm welcome and being back again. Really excited. It feels like old times.
Yeah, I've got a big long list of questions to ask
Can't
you
wait.
and share your opinions on things and, have a great conversation. I'm really
Mhm.
honored to have you join us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
So why don't we start with your personal journey? Because
hmm
let's ask first, let's go right back to the beginning.
Mm.
What drew you to the business continuity operational resilience world?
Oh, I'm one of those people who fell into it by mistake rather than with intention. And when I look back, I think, oh, I wish I had done it with intention because it's such an exciting place to be. But for me, the intention was going into some sort of management, people side, fell into risk management, and then into this whole resilience continuity space. So, yes, a happy accident, Alex.
How did that accident come about? Was it just you were the last person to respond to an email or something?
Yeah, it's like, I know I didn't draw the short straw. So I was back in 2015. Gosh, it feels like so long ago. I was working for an organisation called the NSPCC. It's a children's charity here in the UK, and I was employed to be their risk advisor. And as part of that work, business continuity was one of those things that was done by a consultant. So there was a clear gap in skills and the manager that I had at that time was like, "Oh, Rena, why don't you go on the BCI course, get the exam, and then the consultant can ride off into the sunset, and then you can be our also do business continuity for us." And that was my happy accident. And I've not looked back since. I love it.
Was there a defining moment early in your career that shaped how you think about resilience today? Because you've got the podcast, you've
hmm
been guest on other shows as well, you speak at conferences. So was there a defining moment that really uh, shaped how you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess from a personal point of view, we all have situations that we're dealt with in life, right? That makes us naturally resilient one way or the other by how we approach challenges. But one thing that really does come to mind is when I was working for this charity and when I was told, right, now you're into business continuity, that's part of your role. It was relocating around 500 people, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is when you're completely new to you've just done a course, you haven't even done a course really, to the profession into a new office and there's critical services because the charity had a helpline. Now if that helpline goes off, someone could lose their life. It's very serious. And so to make sure that there was continuity of that service and people knew what they were doing was a really kind of early defining career moment up into in the sense that I thought, gosh, I actually am good at this. I love this as I love risk, but this is actually way better because I get to understand the whole business. And what really hit the nail on the head for me, Alex, was then after all that work that I had done in that short space of time, I think it was about a year, I had a mentor and we applied for the BCI's Europe Continuity Resilience Newcomer of the Year. So back in 2025, I got shortlisted. And when they were doing it back then, when they were doing it across Europe, I actually went to I think it was in Germany, I can't remember where, but I went to the ceremony and it was brilliant. So I think that really instilled in me that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be and what I want to do.
And that you're not alone. There are other people
And
who
I'm not alone. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, exactly, Alex. Yeah, I'm not the only person doing it. Yeah, that
some
was
by
it.
choice, some by voluntold.
Yeah, yeah. But a happy voluntold, right? Because
Yes.
then you intentionally drive the experiences that you want to do and how you intentionally want to move forward with your career. So really, it's such a happy accident. I'm actually grateful for whoever saw that vision in me to be like, she can do it. Did me a favor in the long term.
Were there any moments that you look back on going, oops, that was a big learning curve for you as well? Like, oops, I won't do it like that again, or
Yeah.
"Ooh, I forgot about that, or wow, that's something I never really realized before.
Yeah, Alex, every time that I'm in a business and there's an incident of some way, it's like, oops, didn't think about that. The several times in different organizations that I've worked for when there's been like lower level site incidences or mini crisis, it's kind of, yeah, all plans and stuff are great, but the capability that we all had, or the way I sometimes even share more of an operational response. I thought, oh, I didn't do as well that time. I didn't think of some certain things or certain questions. How can I then improve? So there's been many times like that, and that's why learning in on the job in real life is actually quite a luxury, isn't it? Even though it's not great sometimes.
And you mentioned the gathering, the conference or summit in Germany, I believe you mentioned, sharing some of those stories with other people as well, and learning from them. Like, hey, I goofed up on this a few years ago. Here's my lesson learned. Think about this. So running into other people as well is a great learning opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we need to be more open and transparent about sometimes things that didn't go well and share our lessons learned with our own professionals, because that's how we learn. Because sometimes it's a bit of it can be a bit scandalous, can't it? Especially if it's a high profile crisis or incident, then you have to be careful. But generally, when we're networking, not even back then in 2025 when I fell into it, but even now, it's being very transparent about this is what happened. I don't think I was a great leader. Maybe I'm very just talking very generic. Maybe I could have taken a register or taken more notes or actually made it clear what the actions were or assigned someone to take notes in that incident instead of assuming would have been way better. So the little things that you share, you actually get better ideas of people as well.
Yeah, and depending
Yeah.
on where you work, something will work in one place but not work at another, simply based on the
Yeah.
culture or the nature of their business, how they're structured.
Yeah.
So there's always new opportunities to learn.
Indeed, and the people are a huge part of that. So it's all well having um, all the understanding of the theories and all these degrees and certificates, but if you can't talk to people at a deeper level and connect with them, it's really there's no point doing our job basically because half of it is talking and listening and then writing.
Right. Yes. Now, I know last year you stepped out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, Alex, yes, I was one co-host MC with you at BCI World. Absolutely loved it, and that was out of my comfort zone. I've done so much speaking. I have my own podcast. I've been on yours and others, like you've mentioned. But this was actually performing, really, and hosting a conference in front of real life people and lots of eyes and faces staring at you, and you can see people's reactions in real time, and then whoever else was on the audience, and you actually inspired me to apply to be a co-host or an MC because I saw you the year before. And I was like, how on earth did Alex do this? Like, he's so good. Alex has a podcast. Oh, maybe I could do this too. So I thought, if Alex can do it, I need to find out how I can do this. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to ask the BCI. And then turns out we were doing this together, and it was the best experience ever. I do want to say, Alex, I think people think that MCing and co-hosting a conference is really easy. You just turn up and talk. But I want to point out that it's not. It's really hard work, and you're not just roaming around and you go on stage for 5 minutes. You have to speak to the speakers before. You need to know what questions you're going to ask. You need to have all the logistics sorted out. You need to know what you're going to say, where all the health and safety stuff is at an organization. You're constantly working 24/7 in those 2 days conference. It's not an easy ride. Actually, it's much easier being a delegate of a conference than being an MC because you need to know where everybody is, what everyone's doing, step in last moment, as we did when I hosted the on conference session.
Oh,
No idea I
yes,
was doing
yes.
it. Yeah, right. So again, you're adapting, and also because we don't know how day one is going to go, me and you were up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., bearing in mind two fire alarms had gone off, um, practicing what we were going to say, sharing our lessons learned for the day. Now, you can't rehearse that any time before because you don't know how the day's going to go. So I really want to say that this is a huge stepping out of people's comfort zone, especially mine, because you're actually thinking a lot on the spot. When you do podcasts and you're planning for presentations, you have an element of you have some preparation, whereas doing this on the day, there's limited preparation. So you have to actively think, and that's where it's great. That's where it puts you out of your comfort zone because you have to maintain this calm, like, I know what I'm doing vibe about you. And it's great. And it was so good. I think we worked fantastic together on
We
that.
did. We did. I
Yeah.
think we did. And it's true. You and I did. We met a couple of times
Mhm.
to go over notes and share back and forth. Who's going to say what? How we're going to organize it. We only have so much time, so we can't say,
Yeah.
let's not talk about that. We have to go here, and we have to keep attending
Yeah.
all the various sessions that are going on to pull notes for our day two speech.
Mhm.
Beginning there and get it all coordinated. So, it was a lot of fun, and it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about it, just we've warned you, but it's also equally as rewarding and might be tempted, who knows, to do it again.
Yeah, well, I think you should put your name through this year. I've been involved for 5 years. At least it
Yeah.
feels like that in a row now. So I'm sure they're probably going to see my name and go, no, 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 give him a break. So,
You know what, Alex? I think just lastly on that point, I don't want to kind of go on a labour at this part of particularly, but when you're when you're the solo MC, it's kind of almost easier, but double the work in the sense that you've got to make sure you're dipping in and out of the sessions, you understand what's going on, so you can provide a really good summary. Like winging it is not um, it's not an option, but in some way the next day if you don't have to spend, like, you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., get ready, go down for breakfast, rehearse everything with your co-host, so you can kind of do that in your own time. So working with somebody else actually ups the your game, your level. It ups the, like, I want to do the best not only for myself but for you, Alex, because I don't want to let you down, and we are going to be a great team together. So I think that's really important that you actually making each other look really good whilst you're doing it as well.
and that's the secret. One of the secrets to success, they say,
Yeah.
is if you make others look good,
Yeah.
then you look good. But if you focus on yourself, it doesn't work out as well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, big
well, we,
advocate for
we
that.
did a great job. You made me look good. I hope I helped contribute
Yes, you
to you
do.
as well, so
It was the best experience.
on that note, we've come to the end of our first segment. We're chatting with Rina Singh today, and we will be right back.